Okay, in this Java example, let's take a look at inheritance in Java. Let's start off by having our public class inheritance demo, which will contain our main method. This will be our entry point to the program and where we'll be doing the testing. Let's start off by using some classical examples of creating shapes. And so what we'll do is we'll use the class to create different ones. We'll use an abstract class. We'll use the super keyword, and we'll do some overriding of methods. So let's go ahead and start by creating our abstract class shape. Okay. Now, basically, what abstract does here is it makes it so that we cannot instantiate a shape object, um, because it doesn't make sense that we create a shape object. It has a shape is either, for example, a rectangle or a triangle. Now we'll go ahead and create some double variables, and we'll go ahead and maybe give this a base and a height. Okay, then we'll build the constructor here, shape, and we'll pass in a base and a height. Alright, we're going to use this keyword here, base is equal to base, this dot height is equal to height. Okay, now in my previous videos I have mentioned this keyword and how it's used here to refer to this base in the class instance variable. And this base here is the parameter being passed. Because we're using the same naming convention, we have to use this keyword to differentiate between the two so that Java can understand which one we're talking about. Now, one thing that we are going to want to do is we're going to want to create an abstract method, and that returns an area. Okay, and this one here, as you can see, we don't need to declare a body uh, because we're making this method abstract. This means that when we build our classes that extend shape, we are going to have to override this method, and we're going to have to input something in the body of it, or at least we're going to want to do that. Okay, so that's it for the shape class. Let's go ahead and create our classes here that will extend. Let's start off by creating a class rectangle that extends shape. Okay, so rectangle is a shape, um, but shape itself is not an object. This is an abstract object, so we can't really create a shape, but we can create a rectangle. Kind of makes sense logically. And the reason the IDE here is throwing an error is because we have to implement or override the area method. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that first. Let's go ahead and do the double area. Okay, and in rectangle, the way we find this is we're going to return a double. So we're going to return the base times height for the area of a rectangle. And here we're going to use this keyword again because just following the naming conventions here, um, just makes sense that we are, because rectangle is inheriting the base and height from shape, it is available to rectangle. And then next, what we're going to want to do is we're going to create a constructor for rectangle, and we're going to use a keyword super to do that. Uh, we're not going to declare any more variables just for rectangle because base and height is enough for that. And this rectangle has already inherited that from shape. So those are already available for this class. So let's go ahead and create our rectangle constructor. We're going to pass in, again, base and height. And we're going to use the super keyword here. Now, super is calling the constructor for the superclass. Shape is the superclass, and rectangle is the subclass. Okay, or you can also think of it, or you may have heard of it as shape is the parent class, and rectangle is the child class. We're going to go ahead and pass in these parameters, base and height, in our super. The super is calling the supers constructor, so it's actually calling the shape constructor here. We're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to pass in base and height. Okay, semicolon. Okay, and let's fix our spacing here. Okay, so this will build the rectangle for us, okay, using the shape constructor, and it will assign the values of base and height for us as well. And like I mentioned before, here we have the area method being overwritten from the shape class, abstract class. So next, we can now create a rectangle object, but let's go ahead and create one more class as an example here. And let's create a triangle. Okay, so again, we're going to do class, maybe triangle here, extends shape. All right, so same thing here. We're going to create a triangle constructor. We'll pass in a base, and we'll pass in a height. We'll use the super keyword here, pass in the base and the height. Don't forget our semicolons. And then let's fix our spacing, and then let's override our area method. So area. Okay. And then here for a rectangle, we are going to do base times base divided by 2. Okay, so now we have our triangle and rectangle shapes available, and this will return for us the area corresponding to each shape. We're going to do one more thing. We're going to add some print statements just so it's clear that we're seeing the triangle and rectangle values being returned. So let's go ahead and have it print out something for us here right before the return. Print. And let's say rec, or we'll just say area of rectangle. And then for the triangle, we'll do the same. We'll have it print out right before it returns here. System.out.print area of triangle. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and go into our main method here, because this is our entry point to our program. And let's go ahead and create the rectangle and triangle. Let's do that. So triangle, we'll just call it try, is equal to new triangle. Now let's pass in some values. Let's pass in 10 and 5. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and create our rectangle. We'll call it rec. A new rec. All right, and we'll pass in 6 and let's say 9. All right. Now let's go ahead and call the methods here for the area and the rectangle. Now this will just return um, the values here as doubles of what they are. Um, but oh, let's go ahead and fix this a little bit here. This is base. This is going to be height. And then let's fix this by using the this keyword here, just for consistency. Okay, and then let's go ahead and save that. Okay, so let's go ahead and um, have this print out for us as well. All right, and we're going to do the same for the rectangle area here. All right, let's go ahead and run our program, see what we get. All right, so the area of the triangle is 25, and the area of the rectangle 54.0. Now, another really interesting thing that we can do is we may not be able to create a shape object, but we could still create a reference to that. So, for example, we can use the shape here, and we can actually assign it a triangle. Because it is the parent or superclass of a triangle or rectangle, it will hold the reference to those types of objects. So we can do that, and then we're going to have it print out for us here. Dot out, dot print, and then shape, dot area. Okay, and let's go ahead and run this. And here you can see we have the triangle again, but this time it's being held, the reference is being held by a shape. We could, if we go back here, we cannot create a shape object, so like this. Okay, we cannot create it. You know, the IDE is telling us you can't do that because it's an abstract class. But we can definitely reference. We can reference the rectangle as well, because these objects are subclasses of shape. Okay. Okay, and that covers a quick example of using inheritance in Java classes.